Despite all the rumors, PlayStation 5 will not support 1440p screens natively. And that's a big bummer. But what exactly does it mean to us? Let's find it out. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, Sony officially announced that the PlayStation 5 will not support 1440p video output signal. What does it mean to us? Is it really a big disadvantage or is it just a nice to have? If you're planning to use your PlayStation 5 on a 4K screen, OLED, LCD, whatever, then it's a nice to have feature. But if you're planning to use your PlayStation 5 on a 1440p screen, then it's almost a must-have feature. And I will explain to you why. So let's say I'm using this 4K screen and my PC is set to 1080p. This TV receives now a 1080p video signal. So to get the whole screen filled with a picture, the TV needs to use a scaler. Scaler is built inside the TV or in the monitor, and the scaler will take care about to make out of the 1080p signal a 4K signal. Okay, so to fill the whole screen. So, and every time when you have to use a scaler or upscaler or downscaler, this will result in a quality loss. First of all, because of the quality from the internal scaler from the TV or the monitor, and then second of all from the video signal what you feed into the TV. So let me explain this a little bit further. In this example, it's actually not a very bad situation. 1080p video signal, 4K screen. That means 4K is exactly twice 1080p. 1080p times 2 is 2160p. So in this case, the scaler has not much work to do. It just needs to double the 1080p pixel, and he got a 2080, a 2160p signal. Very easy for the scaler. But now we're talking about a 1440p screen. So for a scaler, for a 1440p screen, there would be a 720 video input signal perfect, because 1440p is 2 times 720p. Okay, so also for the scaler it would be very easy to scale or upscale 720p to 1440p. But of course I would not recommend to use 720p video signal on a 1440p monitor, because for 720p is just such a low resolution that you won't have a nice picture quality at all. But just to give you an understanding how a scaler works. The scaler works the best if there is not much to do for the scaler. So 720p to 1440p is very easy. 1080p to 4K is very, very easy, and so on. 1440p and then you have a 1080p video signal is very bad combination for the scaler, because the scaler has to do a lot of work to get the right information out of the 1080p to the 1440p monitor. I hope I explained this good enough. The same counts if you're feeding now the 1440p screen with a 4K signal. The advantage to have, let's say, a 4K signal into a 1440p is that you have already enough information, and the screen or the scaler doesn't need to put more information in the video signal, because 1080p to 1440p there are a couple of pixels missing, so the scaler needs to make up some pixels, okay, some information. In a 4K video signal into a 1440p, there's already enough information, so the scaler just needs to decide how I can manage those information in my smaller pixel count. So this will result in a better outcome, okay? But again, it will be not as good as a native 1440p video signal. And you can easily do some testing on your own. If let's say you have a 1440p PC monitor, set your PC to 1080p. Check out how the letters on the screens are, and then set it to 4K, because with the graphic cards you can actually upscale or whatever NVIDIA or AMD what you're using. You can output a higher resolution to the monitor, and the monitor has to upscale then. And you will also see, even you put a higher resolution on the 1440p screen, you will not have the same sharpness on the letter, on your Outlook, on your whatever website you're looking at, as in the native resolution. That's just normal. Even you have 8K output to a 1440p screen, it will be not the same quality. Okay, and here we are now. PlayStation 5, no 1440p output. That means really, I don't understand it. The Xbox Series X and S will support 1440p, and Microsoft knows exactly why, because many people, they're owing a 1440p screen, 120 Hz or even more. And this is actually a really good combination in my opinion. So 1080p is a little bit too less in my opinion. 4K with my system at the moment is sometimes way too much, because I have to reduce the settings a lot to have a stable frame rate, or a frame rate over 60. And 1440p is exactly the spot between those resolution 1080p and 4K, which I think it's really good. It's a little bit sharper than 1080p, but it needs less performance than 4K, and this is actually the point. With the new consoles, I'm looking for stable 60 or even 120 frames per second, and I really don't care that much about 4K, to be very honest. I rather have 120 frames per second over 4K. That's my personal opinion. So it will not mean, it doesn't mean that we won't see any 120 frames per second games on the Sony console. This decision from Sony just means that owner from a 1440p screens doesn't have the same sharp picture, let's say, as owner from a 1080p screen. It will not happen. So if you have an old or a 1080p screen, then you rather connect your PlayStation 5 on the 1080p screen rather than on the 1440p, because you will have a native 1x1 pixel display. This is much better than something upscaled on a 1440p screen. Okay, so that's my 2 cents again to this topic, and I hope you learned something. If not, then just put it in the comments if I need to add something, and if I explained something wrong, just add it in the comments as well. And if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I see you next time. Bye.